Alright, well, it just struck 9 o'clock, which means it's time to talk about Moon Knight, 1 week after the show ended. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is your weekly reminder that once this stream finishes, it'll be set to private and moved to the live streaming channel. Link for that is in the description box, so if you want to go back and listen to the stream again, that's where you can do that. Also, just a quick update, I mentioned this before, but super thanks have now been enabled for all regular videos. So I always say that if you don't, there's no pressure to contribute anything, but if you feel like donating $1 or $2 to help out the channel, help me keep the lights on, you have the option to do so on the regular videos now as well. So, that's a thing now. Also, yeah, Doctor Strange 2 happened over the weekend. You guys may want to talk about that. We got someone in the chat room asking for no spoilers, so just be mindful of that person. J. Russ, yeah, I saw that one. I saw that part. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I remembered to put the notice up on Twitter. Cool. All right. So, as usual, I will go through the whole episode, give my thoughts, and then we'll do super chats and comments at the end. So get those in now. And, yeah. Holy moly, I made a lot of notes on these episodes. I'm just scrolling through all these because I never delete anything. So I'm going through all the notes I made on all the episodes. God, there's so much. Anywho. Those go over here. Really should have. There's always something I forgot to do. Like, every time I do one of these, I always think I have everything all set and all ready before I start a stream, then it turns out there's something I forgot to do. Unbelievable. Anywho. So Moon Knight Episode 6, the big finale. When this episode first dropped, like, before I even started watching it, I had a weird feeling. One, because they spoiled in the episode description that Steven wasn't dead. And two, because it was the shortest episode of the season. And given all the stuff they had to tie up, I didn't see any way they could possibly pull that off. And they didn't. Now, for some things, that was because they were obviously planning for Moon Knight to come back in a future project, be that Season 2 or a movie or something, I don't know. So they could tell that story later. But for other things, it's because I guess they thought they didn't need as much time as they actually did to do what they needed to do. Beats me why they thought they had enough time. Wow, they really didn't. Anyway, we begin with Arthur's people pulling the idol of Ammit off of Mark's dead body. Because when we left Mark, he was very dead, and he was entering the field of reeds at the worst possible time. So Arthur leaves the scarab compass thing with Mark because he doesn't need it anymore. Just leaves him to float in that pool of water. For the record, I'm still not sure where that water's coming from. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Arthur, Layla has quietly taken out one of his people to keep from getting discovered. So Arthur faces his followers. Who wants to heal the world, he says. The cane powers up and it morphs into a staff with a crocodile for a head, and they take off. So Layla pulls Mark out of the pool. She cries. She says her goodbyes. She gets determined. She takes the scarab and she follows Arthur. So Arthur and his people are driving out of the desert. They reach the road. They come to sort of a military blockade. Not sure what this is about. There's cops or military or something there. They want to see their papers. Arthur says they don't need to see their papers. He's like, you need to show me your soul. So Arthur slams the staff down, and this wave of purple light bursts out of it, and it instantly judges all these cops. Like previously, Arthur had to take their hands and let the scale tattoo on his arm judge them. Now he didn't need to do that anymore. Now the staff does it all itself. And it judges all the cops in this place. And just about all of them drop dead, except for one. So one was deemed worthy by Ammit. The rest are very dead. And he takes his communicator or radio or whatever. He's like, you don't need that anymore. And just like that, the cop is with Arthur now. So is Ammit's judgment some form of brainwashing? I mean, that would explain why Arthur has so many super loyal followers, but they don't really explain that one way or the other. Anyway, Layla has stowed away using the hood of the thug she took out in the tomb to disguise herself. And the first thing she does is she takes the hood off. What? Wouldn't you want to keep that on so they don't know who you are, Layla? What? Oi. She tries to sneak up on Arthur with a knife. Suddenly, the corpse of one of the police starts talking to her in Thorias' voice. Layla, don't do it. Mark's dead, but he's telling you to stop. Arthur's too powerful for you to fight him alone. But if Mark can return to life, we're going to need Khonshu, so you need to break the Ushabti thing in the Chamber of the Gods. And hey, you can be my avatar. Wouldn't that be cool? Mark talks about you all the time, by the way. He says a lot of nice things about you. I bet we could really have some fun together. Layla's like, no, that's messed up. I think I'll just do this myself. So, I'm not sure what Layla's plan is exactly, but an actual god just offered her help, and she turned it down. All right. You do you, Layla. Excuse me. Arthur arrives at the Temple of the Gods, where they put him on trial a few episodes ago. All the avatars are there, because the gods sense that something screwy is going on, and they're all like, well, someone is trying to release Ammit. But why? How can this be? What's going on? Seriously? Guys, it was maybe 2 days ago that Khonshu and his avatar warned you about this exact thing happening. I mean, granted, they did it kind of stupidly, but I mean, still, was this really that surprising? Apparently, the other avatars just suck. In case in point, the walls literally open up for Arthur as he waltzes in, does a thing with the staff, and we don't see what happens next, but apparently Arthur, releases the power of Ammit again, and all the other avatars just bend over and take it because they all get killed off screen. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Like, they die off screen? That easily? Like, did none of them have a super suit of their own? Like, did none of them fight back at all? Like, sure, Arthur said they weren't warriors, but they're still avatars. They must have power of some kind, right? What the fuck? How could he just walk all over them so easily like this? I mean, we're going to see later that Mark and Layla were able to put up a good fight against him, so why were these other avatars so fucking helpless? Oh my god. So, Layla does some sneaking around while he's busy killing all the avatars off screen. She finds Khonshu's idol amongst all the other ones. Then we cut back to Arthur pulling the Ammit idol out and smashing it on the ground. Ammit emerges from it and appears as a 10-foot tall anthropomorphic crocodile woman. The CG on this is really good, by the way. Then Ammit is actually pretty scary. This is a great scene, especially for Ethan Hawke. He really nails this, but the problem is it's lacking a lot of context. Ammit wants to know who she owes her freedom to. So she doesn't know who Arthur is, even though he's been wielding her staff this whole time. You'd think she'd be aware of him at least, but she isn't. And this just made me start wondering about a lot of things. Things about Arthur that unfortunately we just never get answers to. Like where did he get the staff? How long has he had the staff? What went down between him and Khonshu that caused that split and spurred Arthur to throw his lot in with Ammit instead? We never learned any of this. I mean, they told us about some of it, but we never saw it. We never got any flashbacks for Arthur. And this was the first moment of the episode where I said to myself, 6 was just not enough. They needed at least one more episode to show Arthur's backstory, not to mention a lot of other things, but we never got that. And this episode is less for us not having it, unfortunately. Ammit says, that Arthur's scales are not balanced. He thought his servitude might have corrected that imbalance, but he sees now that this was impossible because of his misdeeds and they can't be fixed. So, and this is the part that really makes you respect Arthur in a weird way. He accepts his fate, thinking that he's about to die. He thinks, well, I must be a sinner in Ammit's eyes, so that means I've got to go, and I accept that. So I gotta hand it to Arthur. He went all in on this. And he's not backing out, even if it means that he has to die. I mean, that makes Arthur really interesting, which is why we really needed that backstory for him, damn it. And again, Ethan Hawke is just great. You can tell he's anxious and he's uneasy about it, but he's committed. And that really comes through. So good on Mr. Hawke for that performance. Ammit says that she once relied on a servant whose scales balanced perfectly, and in return she was imprisoned for 2,000 years. So, lesson learned. You're my guy, Arthur. You're the avatar I need. So she does the thing, and Arthur becomes her vessel. Cut to Layla. She smashes the Khonshu idol. Khonshu emerges from it. I don't sense Mark Spector in this world. He died fighting, no doubt. So I need a new avatar. How about you, Layla? Do you swear to protect the travelers of the night, blah, blah, blah? And no, she's not having it. Are you kidding me? You turned Mark's life into a waking nightmare. Why would I sign up for that? Khonshu points out that Layla can't exactly beat Arthur and Ammit by herself. She needs a plan, and he's not wrong. But Layla is still not bending on this, and she demands that they work together without her enslaving herself to Khonshu. She's just not drinking the Kool-Aid, so Khonshu has to humor her for now. He says they have to rebind Ammit, but only avatars can do that, and Layla's still putting the brakes on there, so perhaps out of sheer frustration, I guess, Khonshu just fucks off to confront Ammit himself because Layla is just not playing ball here. Then we're back in the field of reeds. Mark has finally found peace and quiet, the peace and quiet he always wanted. He's finally free of all the hurt and the loneliness that plagued him his whole life, and you'd think he'd be happy about that. But he isn't, because Steven's not there. Thorias says Steven's gone. There's nothing to be done. The Duat has him now, and Mark should just enjoy his peace and quiet. But Mark just can't do it. He's tempted, but he can't. And Steven sacrificed himself to the Duat to save Mark, and Mark just cannot let that stand. They have to go back and save Steven. Thorias says it doesn't really work that way, and if Mark leaves, he can never return. this piece in the field of reeds, he won't be able to get that back. But if it's a choice between peace and saving Steven, Mark's going to go save Steven. He's going to go save his other personality. So, good for him. So he runs back into the desert, and I'm not sure what's going on here. I guess the Duat aren't coming for him anymore because his heart is balanced now. But what's the plan exactly? I mean, he finds Steven frozen in the sand, and I don't know what Mark thinks he can do in this situation. And I guess he doesn't either, because he just starts talking. He opens up to Steven, talks about how Steven saved him from the moment he appeared, and he survived because he knew he wasn't alone, and Steven was the one who was full of hope, and Mark tried to protect that, but he ultimately failed. And the sand is starting to freeze Mark into a statue as well now, but he keeps going because Steven never abandoned him, so he's not going to abandon Steven, because you were the only real superpower I ever had. That's a great line. And just before Mark fully turns to stone, he puts his own balanced heart in Steven's hand, and then the gates of Osiris magically open back up. Steven returns to normal, and so does Mark. And I'm not sure how this happened. Did he share his balanced heart with Steven? Did him admitting those things balance Steven's heart somehow? I don't know. But this just seemed way, way too easy. And too quick. I mean, we're only 17 minutes in here. I mean, Steven's death, quote-unquote, hasn't even sunk in yet, and they're already taking it back? This is why we needed another episode. This should have been the one where we got Arthur's backstory, and then in the B-plot, we could have had Mark fighting to get Steven back and finally getting him back at the very end, so you could let the death sink in and let that emotionally resonate with you for a while, and then pay it off after you've had some time to deal with it. And then you've got a whole other episode where you've cleared the table for the big finale. But, I mean, they've only got 6 episodes, so they had to cram everything into this one, and this just felt really anticlimactic. Damn, what a shame after the episode 5 cliffhanger was so great. Damn it. Back at the Temple of the Gods, Khonshu is calling Ammit out for being a massive hypocrite because she talks all this shit about balance, but her chosen avatar is a sinner, so what gives? She doesn't really care to explain herself, so they start fighting. And this is pretty cool, but it basically amounts to Khonshu attacking Ammit, her grabbing him and throwing him around like a crash dummy. And while this is happening, I guess them fighting caused a big disturbance in the underworld or something, because this giant, massive sandstorm is rushing toward Mark and Steven from out of nowhere. They're trying to make it to the gates. They're not going to make it, but then Toweret to the rescue. She zooms in on her big boat. She crashes into the big wall of sand and gives them the time they need. So Khonshu's getting his butt kicked. Ammit's got him on the ropes. He's being a stubborn old bird and chooses death over having to beg her for mercy. And just when she's about to finish Khonshu off, Mark and Steven pass through the gates and they wake up back in the real world somehow. And again, I'm not sure what happened. How can they just return to the world of the living when Mark's body is dead? I don't know. Toweret mentioned something about Osiris deciding to do them a solid or something. I guess because there's so much at stake here. But, I mean, your guess is as good as mine on this one. So Khonshu senses Mark's presence. He disappears right when Ammit is about to deliver the final blow. The bullets pop out of Mark's body. He summons the suit, and just like that, he's back. And I'm sorry, but just like finding Steven, this just felt way too damn easy. But we just don't have the time to to go at a slow pace here because there's so much to cover. We've only got one short episode to do it in. So, Mark and Steven have a chat with Khonshu, and the dynamic has changed now because now Mark and Steven are switching back and forth at ease, which means we're switching back and forth between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight at ease. And Oscar Isaac is once again playing both characters at the same time, but now it's all super quick, like boom, 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 switch, switch, switch. I have no idea how he's doing this, but it was really amazing stuff. Again, he should win like all the awards, should Oscar Isaac. So they talk to Khonshu about how this is going to work. Khonshu has to promise to release them when this has all been sorted out. And he does because, what other options does he have, basically? So now the only problem is, how do they catch up to Arthur and Ammit? Because they've got a pretty big head start. Well, that'll be easy because Khonshu is the god of the night sky, which means Moon Knight can fucking fly now. So they shoot off into the sky, creating this crescent moon-shaped silhouette against the full moon in a really cool visual. And then we're back to Layla. One of the avatars is still alive, barely. It's the lead guy. Layla tries to get information out of him. How do we stop Ammit? He says this temple is where they're the most powerful, so you have to get her in here and imprison her in a mortal body so she'll be vulnerable. But doing that is going to take more avatars than they have, and then he drops dead. So with absolutely no other options left, Layla finally tries to get Thorias' attention. And Thorias is so giddy about this that her cries of glee are loud enough to alert Arthur, who now knows that something's up, so he starts smashing the temple. And with the place coming down around her, Layla is suddenly getting possessed by Thorias, who's talking through her body, which means the actress is switching back and forth between Layla and Thorias. And it's played comedically this time, unlike the scene of Arthur's trial where they tried to make it super serious. This way works better, I think. And for the record, the actress looks like she's having fun with this, and it's definitely the most animated she's been this season. Thorias is super excited. I'm so delighted to accept you as my avatar. Your dad's gonna be over the moon when he hears about this. Oh yeah, I met your dad when I took him to the Field of Reeds. I'm sure I mentioned that before. Oh, I have an awesome costume for you. It's gonna be fabulous. And then the roof caves in. So Moon Knight is zooming across the sky. Arthur is climbing to the top of this giant pyramid. He releases the power again. Everyone in the nearby city sees it. His followers show up and start judging everybody, so they all grab innocent bystanders and see if they're worthy. I'm not sure why they have to do it this way when they didn't with those cops from earlier, because with the cops, all Arthur had to do was release the power and they were all judged instantly, but now his followers have to judge them by taking their hands and seeing if their scales balance. Why the difference here? Why is it different? Doesn't make sense. It turns out a lot of these people are not worthy because we see souls flying out of the city en masse. They're all summoned to the pyramid, and Ammit sucks them into her mouth one by one. She consumes them, and this, I'm assuming, empowers Ammit to grow to the size of fucking Godzilla. Okay. Yeah, it gets progressively, more insane from here. So inside what's left of the temple, Avatar Layla emerges from the wreckage, rocking her brand new supersuit that comes equipped with swords and retractable wings. So she's not so much Girl Moon Knight as she is Girl Falcon. The supersuit looks cool, but I don't know why they did the reveal here. I mean, she's gonna save Mark from Arthur in a few minutes. That's when they should have done the reveal. But doing it here was a complete waste. I mean, why? I mean, she doesn't do anything. She just stands there. And here's where things get really nuts. So Moon Knight arrives at the pyramid. He flies in, lands on there. Him and Arthur charge at each other. Why doesn't Arthur have his own super suit, by the way? I don't know. So they start fighting. They take off into the sky. They're battling in the air, struggling with each other. And now Khonshu is there. He grows to giant size himself and takes on Ammit. What? Wait. Pump the brakes here for a second. All right, Ammit only grew to giant size because she was powered up from all those souls she consumed, right? So how is Khonshu doing it? And if he could do it now, why didn't he do it before? Why didn't he become a giant when Ammit was normal size and just step on her or something? I mean, he could have beaten her easily. Why didn't he do that before? I mean, the sequence looks super cool. We've got a goddamn kaiju battle in front of a pyramid. How can you not like that? But still, I mean, there's a lot of questions here. And very few of them are going to get answered. So Ammit asks Khonshu, like, man, we're so similar, you and I. Why do we have to keep doing this? And Khonshu answers, well, I only punish those who have chosen evil. And, well, that's basically the same thing Ammit does, and she just doesn't give them the satisfaction of committing it. And that's the fundamental difference between them. Khonshu may be a dick, but he's not going to judge somebody before they've committed an evil. Now, he lets people make that choice for themselves. That's the difference between them. Choice. Ammit doesn't care to give them that choice. She just judges anyone who might one day in the future do something that she perceives as an evil and just, rubs them out before they can do it. Or before they have a chance to choose to do it. So finally, Arthur and Moon Knight crash land in the middle of the city. Cairo, maybe? I don't know. Mark takes the worst of it, so he's down. Arthur's about to finish him off when suddenly Layla zooms down, nails him from behind. He shoots an energy beam from the staff at her. She deflects it back at him with her wings. He goes flying. And damn it, this should have been the reveal of Avatar Layla. This should have been the first time we saw her. I mean, think about how much more impactful that would have been. I mean, now it didn't mean that much because we already saw her from earlier. How did they not notice that? So, anyway, Mark and Steven are both thrilled to see her. They have their little reunion. It's very nice. But no time to talk because there's a fight to win. Arthur and all his followers are advancing towards them, and it's time to go hard or go home here. And Steven is really excited to show Layla the new skills they just picked up. Where these new skills came from is what I'm wondering about. But she's like, okay, Steven with a V, show me what you got. So, the fight is on. Right, the two of them charge into battle, and Steven starts whooping ass. Like, he breaks out those two billy clubs, and he's just taking out dudes left and right like he's fucking Daredevil all of a sudden. I mean, Arthur shoots another energy beam at him. He whirly-birds over it like a fucking ninja. He throws the billy club. Arthur deflects it. It ricochets back, and Mark catches it, and now he's Moon Knight again. This whole fight is fucking awesome, by the way. And they keep switching back and forth between Mark and Steven, between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and they're all super badasses now. And once again, I'm not sure how this happened. Like, how did Steven learn to fight all of a sudden? I have two guesses about this. One is, now that Mark and Steven are working as a team, it means their skills are bleeding into each other, so Steven can fight now because Mark is letting him access that stuff. So, like, maybe Steven can fight because Mark can fight? Like, maybe when he's fighting as Mr. Knight, it's not totally Steven anymore. Maybe now it's like 51% Steven and 49% Mark. But, I mean, the fighting style he's using is not the one Mark would use. Because Mark doesn't fight like that. So it's very strange. Second guess is, now that Mark and Steven are teaming up, it's somehow unlocked new skills that they didn't have when they were separate, but can access now that they're together? Possibly? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of speculation involved here, and it's one of those things that could have been explained if they'd had another episode, but instead I can only guess. That's all I can do. It's a cool moment, and I popped for it, but I don't know how it happened. Another question is, how the hell is Layla so good at this? I mean, she got very adept with those wings really damn quickly. Man, sure, she could handle herself before she became an avatar, but how is she such a great flyer without even trying? I mean, shouldn't there be a learning curve here? Maybe Tower had imparted the knowledge or the skills to do it, and that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, that all being said, this is a very fun sequence. Like, watching Steven get to kick ass like this, watching him and Mark work together for the first time, it's very cathartic. And them and Layla fighting together is really cool. I mean, this fight hits all the right notes if you can get over the fact that you're not really sure how the hell they're doing all this. Yeah, so they take out the thugs. I mean, they're double teaming Arthur now. He's still almost too much for them to handle. I mean, Moon Knight and Mr. Knight keep switching back and forth. Meanwhile, the two fucking kaiju Egyptian gods are going at it over by the pyramids. This whole scene is fucking crazy. So finally, after a lot of back and forth, they've kind of got Arthur on the ropes. So he blasts a van full of people. Layla has to fly over there to stop it. And she has to save some little girl from getting crushed. And there's a really cheesy moment where the girl is like, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And Layla's like, "I am." And the moment goes by too quickly for it to be super cringy, like that girl power moment in the final battle in Endgame. But was that really necessary? Look, I know we're in the MCU now, but come on. I mean, moments like this almost always come off super forced. If instead Layla had just shrugged and been like, beats me, kid. I mean, that would have been alright. I mean, why do you have to ram it down our throats like this? It's so transparent what they're trying to do. But I do really still like this sequence. You know, Layla isn't stealing Mark's thunder. She's not the new Moon Knight. She's a different avatar. You know, she's not taking his place. They're fighting together as a team, as equals, and that's fine. I like that. I mean, you might have thought it was. I mean, you might have thought it was going to be the Mark Stevens show here, but I mean, Layla's been along for the ride this whole time, and you know, Mark and Steven are still the focus at the end of the day. So, you know, while she's fighting off more thugs and they're firing at her, so she has to kind of you bring up the wings to deflect the bullets, and they got her kind of pinned down. So we cut over to Moon Knight versus Arthur. While that's happening, Arthur blasts him again. Mark blocks it, but Arthur keeps pouring it on. He's all, had Ammit been freed, your brother would have been free. Your brother would have been alive. You know, your family would have been happy. They only had to remove one weed from the garden. You. And the blast finally overcomes Mark. Layla gets taken out too. Mark is on the ground. Arthur brings the staff down on him. It charges up. It looks like all hope is lost. And then they do the blackout thing again, where Mark switches personalities. And then Mark wakes up, and Arthur is defeated. He's unconscious. Mark has the staff. It's changed back into the cane, and the fight is won. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? I mean, they've done teases for Jake Lockley in the past, but this is the final battle with the big bad, and you just had him get defeated off screen. Even if it was to set up the big reveal later on, I mean, that's some bullshit right there. How did he beat Arthur? We're never going to see it now. How did the writers think they could get away with not showing this? This felt like such a fucking cop-out, like we put the heroes in the most dire situation possible. It looks like there's no way for them to possibly win. They're totally screwed. And then the writers just waved a magic wand, and just like that, the fight is over. And the good guys won. I mean, they won because magic. I mean, that's what this felt like. Did not like that at all. That was some bullshit. And the fight had been so much fun up until that point, too. God damn it. So Mark and Steven look around. All the bad guys have been mysteriously taken out, and neither of them know how it happened. And for some reason, they don't think to ask Layla, who is standing right there. Okay, I mean, she must have seen what happened. But for some reason, she's just as confused as they are. But why? I mean, she wasn't unconscious or anything. She was there. She was looking right at it. She must have seen it. But somehow she didn't? How did she not see what happened? I don't know, and they don't tell us. There's no time, I guess. I mean, Khonshu is just about down for the count here, so they grab Arthur, they rush him to the destroyed temple, they toss him on this stone table, they recite some spell, say a bunch of Egyptian gobbledygook that Thorias taught Layla, I'm assuming. Beats me how Mark knows the spell, but he does somehow. I mean, this wave of mystical energy passes through them and the statues of all the other gods, and Ammit gets sucked into Arthur's body right when she was about to finish Khonshu off a second time. So now she's trapped in Arthur's body. And she's like, well, this isn't going to stop me. I'll never stop. So the only way to stop her for good is to kill her while she's trapped in Arthur's body. So Khonshu urges Mark to finish him off, and then this will finally be over. Mark is seriously considering this, but Layla tells him, Mark, you're free now. You don't have to do this. You have a choice. And Khonshu says, the choice is vengeance. Ammit's going to kill again. We can't take the chance that she finds a way out. But that was the wrong thing to say, because now Khonshu sounds just like Ammit. And Mark is sick of being Khonshu's puppet. He tells Khonshu that if he wants them dead so bad, he can kill them himself. Mark held up his end of the bargain, so now it's time to pay up. And so be it. Khonshu does the thing, the suit glows bright for a moment, and then we're back in the doctor's office again. Oh my god. This again. I almost had to put my foot down with this one. But it's saved because of the way they play it and because it's a quick scene. Steven asks the doctor if he thinks Khonshu and Ammit are real. Doctor says no. And then Mark says, well, what if we disagree, Doc? Again, Oscar Isaac is switching back and forth, but it's not a violent transition anymore. Now it's all seamless. The doctor starts getting uneasy. He walks around the table, leaving bloody footprints on the floor, which is what tends to happen when your shoes are filled with broken glass, you nitwit. So Mark and Steven say that the doctor doesn't know as much as he thinks he does, so as tempting as it would be to accept the diagnosis, they'd rather go save the world instead. So they fall backwards, and they wake up back in Steven's London flat. They get out of bed, and then they faceplant on the floor because their foot is tied to the wall. Womp womp. But we're not done quite yet. Not done quite yet, because in the stinger, we cut to another mental asylum. A real one this time. And now it's Arthur who's the patient. He's in a wheelchair, one step removed from being a drooling vegetable. And we see him getting wheeled out of the place by a mysterious man in black who's speaking Spanish to the nurse. They leave the building. We see the dead bodies of the staff lying around the floor. And the mystery man loads Arthur into a limousine where Khonshu is. Khonshu is waiting for him, and all decked out in a nice fancy suit, no less. So Arthur's not scared because Khonshu can't do anything to him. But Khonshu is all kinds of smug right now. See, Mark really thought that Khonshu wanted Layla to be his avatar. But why would he ever want that? Why would he ever want anybody else when Mark has no idea how troubled he actually is? Yeah, there's always one more thing, like Arthur said once upon a time. So the driver's window rolls down, and Khonshu introduces Arthur to his associate, Jake Lockley. personality number 3 who whips out a gun and fires. And we don't see a body, so we don't know what really happened in there, but the limo pulls out of the asylum parking lot, and that's where it ends. Wow. You know, I really hate to say it because the show had been so good up to this point, especially episode 5. I mean, episode 5 was so brilliant, but this finale was rushed as hell. I didn't think there was any way they could possibly wrap everything up, and damned if they could not. There were so many important storylines and plots that had to be so truncated. Saving Steven, Arthur's backstory, taking out the other avatars, defeating Ammit, explaining all the stuff that happened here. I mean, how did Khonshu grow to giant size when Ammit needed to power up by consuming all the souls? Where did Steven's new fighting skills come from? What exactly happened in the desert when they saved Steven? I mean, they weren't able to explain any of this stuff, and they had to rush through everything. Or, in the case of finishing off Arthur in the final battle, just skip over it entirely. I don't know how this happened. I mean, the pacing had been very solid for the whole season. I mean, I was praising the pacing early on. I was like, wow, I mean, the pacing was so slow in WandaVision, but here it's rock solid. This is great. But suddenly, they just hit the afterburners and blasted through the last leg of the race. It honestly felt like they planned for 7 episodes, but then at the last minute, the episode order got cut by 1 or 2, and then they just had to scramble to compensate. Son of a bitch. And what makes it even more annoying is that there was still a lot of really cool stuff in this finale. I mean, there were some awesome set pieces. The final fight itself, up until Mark blacked out, was a ton of fun. There was a fucking kaiju battle, for crying out loud. Who doesn't like that shit? I mean, Oscar Isaac continues to absolutely fucking kill it playing both characters at the same time. I mean, they had a lot of pieces of a great finale in there, but because they only had 1 episode to do everything, the storytelling fumbled the ball on the 5-yard line. This was honestly the weakest episode of the season. And that really sucks to say, because if they just had more time to work with, this could have been a fucking banger. So, parts of it were good, but a lot of other parts were very frustrating, and with just 1 more episode, they could have avoided all those problems. Damn it. But still, I mean, despite the problems with the episode, I still really enjoyed Moon Knight overall. The issues with the finale are really going to bug me for a while, and I'm not sure how much of that is fixable. Like, even if they get a season 2, which, I mean, clearly they did plan on, or if not a season 2, then, you know, Moon Knight has got to be showing up again somewhere, because there's plenty of stuff they still left unresolved. So that was it for the finale. How would I rate Moon Knight compared to the other Marvel Disney Plus shows? Boy. This would have taken the top spot. Like, this would have... I would have easily ranked this as the number 1 Disney Plus show Marvel has done if the finale had stuck the landing. Now I'm not so sure anymore. God, the rest of the show was so good. It's just... The finale still had fun moments. It's just the storytelling just dropped the ball just so much. God damn it. I don't know. For most enjoyable Disney Plus show for me, I guess now it's going to be a toss-up between Moon Knight and Hawkeye now. Had they done a better job with this episode, Moon Knight would have easily taken the number 1 spot. Now, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Let's see what you guys thought about this. Come on. You stupid... know we had a super chat in there at one point. Yeah, it's not showing me. There it is. Yellow Lantern. Thank you for that super chat. No questions or comments, but hey, thank you very much anyway. Why isn't it showing up in the viewer activity tab? I don't know. Let's see what else are you guys saying? What's with Marvel and pairing a male and female hero together like Ant-Man and Wasp and Layla and Moon Knight and Doctor Strange and America Chavez? Well, we're in the MCU, that's why. I don't really mind it in some cases if there's at least like a precedent for it in the comics, or if at least it makes sense thematically, like Ant-Man and Wasp. I mean, those two just go together, really. I wouldn't say Doctor Strange and America Chavez were paired up. I mean, America Chavez was more like the person Strange is trying to help. I mean, maybe you could call her a sidekick in this one, but I mean it was still Strange was still like running things. Layla and Moon Knight, I'll give you that one, because I haven't read the Moon Knight comics. I don't know how big of a character Layla is, or if she ever gets powers of her own in the comics. So I'll give you that one. That one felt a little like, we have a guy hero, so we need a girl hero too. That kind of felt like their reasoning there. So I'll give you that one. Daisy Blossom Flower Child, thank you very much for the super chat. No questions or comments, but you got a cute little doggy gif. That's nice. Thank you very much. Would it be better if it had more episodes? I always think about these 6-episode seasons. Why not keep the series going until like 12 at least and develop better? Well, I don't think they needed 12 episodes. I think 7 would have been fine. We just needed to get Arthur's backstory and explanations for a lot of the stuff that happened. They could have done that in one more episode. And the reason for the 6-episode season is just because they're pumping a ton of money into these things. I think each Disney Plus show has had the budget of a major motion picture. So basically, what they would have spent on a Marvel movie, they're spending on each Disney Plus show. So unless they want to spend what amounts to and the budget of 2 major motion pictures on a Disney Plus show, that's why we're not getting 12 episodes. Let's see. Is it hard taking notes when doing reviews? No, not really. Not with streaming, because I can just hit pause. It does take a while to get through the episode. What I've been doing for Moon Knight is I'll watch the episode once just for fun, and then later on I'll watch it again and take notes during it. That usually takes about twice as long as the episode itself. So for each Moon Knight episode, I'd be like watching along and taking notes. That would take about 2 hours. For a while before I started using the DVR, I would do this. The way I would do it for Batwoman is I'd be taking notes during the episode, and I would just be like racing over the keyboard, just typing as fast as I possibly could, because I could only watch it once. I didn't want to have to wait until the next day for it to go up on the website, so I'd just be going as fast as I possibly could. That was tough. And somehow I got through it. I'd only have to watch the episode one time. So that was tough. So eventually I said, no, this ain't working for me anymore. So I started DVRing it so I could go a little bit slower. But yeah, if I can just DVR it, or if I'm doing a streaming show, it's not hard. It's just time consuming. WandaVision excelled more because of the 9 episodes, which seems to be the sweet spot. Well, bear in mind, WandaVision had some very short episodes. I mean, I think the first episode was like the length of a typical sitcom, wasn't it? I think so. Hold on. I'd like to check that out. So I'm wondering if these shows all have like comparable screen time or runtime rather, and just maybe they're just spread out differently. Because I remember having a lot of issues with the pacing of WandaVision. For me, WandaVision was paced very, very slowly. And I felt like Moon Knight's pacing was very good up until the last episode when suddenly it was way too rushed. So how are they doling out the time for these episodes? I mean, if I could just get Firefox to work. Come on, you stupid... Well, we'll come back to that. Yeah, wait, there it goes. No, it's still... no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to set that as my primary browser. Go away. Not now. Go away, you stupid pop-up. There you go. Mother of God. Just need... Come on. Yeah, we're going to check this out. Disney Plus. And just blame Mary. Oh, I blame Mary for everything. Yeah, everything bad that happens is Mary's fault. Everything. Here we go. Marvel. You stupid line. Going around in clockwise. I don't need to see you right now. Just show me the stupid... There we go. Alright, WandaVision had 9 episodes. And... yeah, see, first episode was only 31 minutes. Second episode, 38 minutes. Third episode, 34 minutes. Fourth episode, 36 minutes. And then it's 43, 40, 39, 48, 51. Yeah, so WandaVision had several episodes that were shorter than usual. Whereas Moon Knight had fewer episodes, but they were longer. So yeah, let's see. 48 minutes, 53 minutes, 53, 54, 50, 44. So I'm not going to do that math in my head. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but Moon Knight had fewer episodes, but they were longer. So I'm guessing every Disney Plus show had like comparable runtime when you add everything up. Yellow Lantern, acknowledge me. Yellow Lantern, you are acknowledged. Yeah, seriously, Thanos answers to Mary. If there's one character evil enough to make Thanos bend the knee, it would be Mary. Oh, God. Thank you for the super chat. I'm calling it now. They're going to make Whistler female just so Blade can have a babysitter like everybody else. Oi. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Also, when they do bring in Punisher, they're going to water him down and give him a female sidekick, calling it now. Well, I mean, didn't he kind of have a female sidekick in the Netflix show? Who was that female agent? Was she like an FBI agent or something? I don't know, I only saw the first season. I mean, she kind of worked with him. And also, Karen would come in and out, and wasn't there that girl in season 2 he was trying to save? I mean, they kind of already did that in the Netflix show. For the record, I can't imagine they'd be able to do a Punisher project on Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't see any way they'd be able to get away with that. Not and keep the character like the way he's supposed to be. The two moms in Doctor Strange 2 was another cringe moment. I don't know. I was fine with that. I mean, they didn't put any focus on it. It was just, oh, she's got two moms. Okay, well, and her power, they get sucked into another universe. Okay, there they go. Well, they're gone now. And they didn't do anything with them. They were just there to show America Chavez's backstory. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. That was fine. I think Layla turned it down the first time because she's seen what happened to Mark with Khonshu's contract and didn't want the same thing to happen to her because she didn't know the hippo's good intentions. Yeah, well, yeah. Also, Layla is apparently very stubborn. So she only agreed to it when there was literally no other choice. They will make Danny Rand Danielle Rand. If they even do Iron Fist at all, which I kind of doubt they will, honestly. Maybe they'll decide that the optics of an Iron Fist project aren't that good anymore. Because, cultural appropriation and all that. We can't have a white character learning martial arts. That's an Asian character thing. Oy. Plus, I think Danny Rand isn't even Iron Fist anymore in the comics. They have a new Iron Fist now because he's got to be Asian, right? Because he's all about karate. Because, God forbid, a white character know karate now. Ugh. Which line was the worst? The Egyptian superhero line or Monica's line to Wanda about sacrifice? The line about sacrifice, really. I mean, the Egyptian superhero thing was cringy, but I mean, it was like 5 seconds. I mean, and then it was over, and then they got back to fighting. With the sacrifice thing, I mean, they built a whole scene around that. And I mean, that was like the big, like the big moment, like when we're supposed to feel sorry for Wanda for having after she enslaved all these people. Yeah, that's what the whole series was building up to that. It's kind of what made it so annoying. With the Egyptian superhero thing, it's like it's a 5-second throwaway line in the middle of a fight. You can kind of disregard it. You just mute your screen for 5 seconds and it's fine. Layla did a much better Wonder Woman than the dramatic abomination we got in Wonder Woman 1984. Well, that wouldn't be difficult. It wouldn't be hard to top what we got in Wonder Woman 84. I'm calling it now. They're going to make the Beyonder, Whistler, and the one above all, maybe even Eternity when they do reveal him, all female. All right. Look, I have to insist on one thing from Marvel. If they ever do the one above all, there's only one person who can be the one above all, and that's Stan Lee. Don't have to give him any lines. Just when if you have to present the one above all, just CG an image of Stan Lee up there. That's all I'm asking. I will not accept anyone else as the one above all. It has to be Stan fucking Lee. Apparently Osiris just let them leave. I guess. I mean, Towerhead had the line, like, Osiris, you big softy. Which... Okay, I mean, he let them go, but why? Because there was a lot at stake, I guess. But there was so much left unexplained. You guys are kind of having a discussion here. You can tell all these Marvel Disney shows and movies just weren't made for adults, they're for children. Well, what do you expect? It's Disney Plus. And I wouldn't say they're made for children. They're certainly made for families, I think. I would say that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was not made for children, at least not super young children. That movie does get darker than we're used to seeing most MCU projects. But I mean, they're under the Disney umbrella now. I mean, what do you expect? The series would have been better if they'd given us more of the mercenary side and less Egyptian mythos and Layla. All right. Well, I would argue that the Egyptian side is something that kind of had to be explored. I mean, that's not something that you can just leave up to the imagination. Now, I think what you're saying here is that you would have preferred they focus on Mark instead of Steven. Because, like, the first two episodes are mainly Steven. Which was kind of an odd choice when he's not the primary, personality. Okay, so that was a storytelling choice they made. Maybe you didn't agree with that. Can people see the kaiju fight, or is it just high winds coming from nowhere? No, I don't think they could see that. Yeah, because I guess only the avatars can see the gods. Like Khonshu's avatar can see Khonshu. I guess Toweret's avatar can see Toweret, but they can't see the other ones. Because remember in episode 2, when Mark was fighting, the jackal demon thing, I mean, nobody else could see it. I mean, Layla knew Mark was fighting something invisible, but she couldn't see it. And I think in this episode, Arthur made reference to, when Khonshu showed up, Arthur said, something's here, someone's here, something's going on. But he couldn't see Khonshu himself. So I guess the gods can make themselves visible to people when they want to be, but otherwise they're invisible to everyone except their avatar. Thought the fight was pretty good. Yeah, the fight. I like the fight choreography a lot. They did good work there. It was really complex too. What with all the suit changes, I mean, changing back and forth between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and I mean, you got one character who can fly, another one who's shooting energy beams, and like the way they incorporate all the suit changes was cool. And there was some good fight choreography in there too. When Steven went ninja on those thugs, that was good stuff. Am I the only one who saw Moon Knight using a grapple hook we never saw him use ever or again? No, he used it. He used it one time. I don't know, maybe he had it before he realized he could fly. That might have been a nod to the comics. Of course, there were a couple times he could have used that earlier and he didn't. So yeah, I did notice that. Do you believe the role of Layla was specifically designed to lessen the importance of Moon Knight? Despite that, I did enjoy the show, and hopefully season 2 will come. Do you feel the same way? No, I don't think so. Specifically designed to lessen the importance of Moon Knight? No, I don't think so. I think they just wanted to get some representation in there. I mean, if you really look at that fight, I mean, Layla was involved, but I mean, the real battle was between Moon Knight and Arthur. I mean, he was still the focus. I mean, Layla got her moment, to look cool and do badass stuff, but it really came down to Mark and to mark Stephen and Arthur at the end of the fight. So I don't think she was there to lessen his importance. They just wanted to, to have a female hero in there as well. Was Layla even going to keep the powers? Well, again, that's something that we could have learned if we'd had more time or another episode. She did say that it was only she was only going to be a temporary avatar, but Towerette doesn't appear to be under any obligation to release her. She's seen to be enjoying herself. Being able to fight and fly and do cool stuff. Who knows? I mean, maybe she'll have second thoughts after she gets accustomed to it. I mean, she did decide that she was a superhero in that moment. Maybe she'll, I don't know. Maybe she'll decide that, hey, she kind of likes that. It is weird that they ended it without resolving that, though. I mean, he just disappears, wakes up back in his London flats. Okay, so where's Layla? What happened to her? Why can't we have well-written female characters anymore like Jessica Jones? Well, just wait, buddy. Ms. Marvel is just around the corner. And then She-Hulk after that. Oh my god. Oh man. For the record, the writing on Jessica Jones wasn't exactly perfect like some people make it out to be. Yeah, there were some issues with that show too. Just for the record. Why does Jake have to solve everything off screen? I know, right? And it didn't bother me until they did it with Arthur. Like, really? Like, your big climax of the big final fight happens off screen because Mark blacked out? I don't know why they thought they could get away with that. Wow, that did not work. I love the fight scenes with equals, and if Steven is the white side of the light, Mark is the neutral side of gray, Jake is the darkest side of black, the possible void that Mark doesn't know or denies. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a cop-out. Yeah, it really was. Jake Lockley is not Hispanic in the comic book. Okay, but Oscar Isaac is, and Mark is half Hispanic in the show. His mom was Hispanic, so I don't think it's that big a deal. And it's not like having a split personality turns you into a different ethnicity, What would he be what would he be a Jewish guy who just acts Hispanic? No. I mean, I don't think it really matters. They're just taking taking advantage of the actor they have, you know? Whoop. Oh. Wow. Whole bunch of new comments. Where... Wow, where was I? Pop Culture Guru, thank you for the super chat. Jake solved everything off screen because it's Disney. You know they like to keep things family friendly even at the expense of the story. Well, they could have defeated Arthur in a non-family friendly way. I don't think that was the issue. The issue wasn't cutting around stuff or cutting out stuff that was like not family friendly. The issue was not showing us something that was crucial to the story, because you can't have your villain defeated in a way that you don't see it. I mean, they set it up in a way that the good guys were totally screwed, and then you just cut to the end without showing us how they resolved that whole thing. Yeah, that's why I'm complaining here. The whole thing was a giant cop-out. They just waved a magic wand and said, "Oh, Jake did it." Well, how did he do it? I don't know. Oh, Mark blacked out. He didn't see it. Yeah, but Layla should have seen it. Why didn't she see it? I don't know. She was there. She was looking right at it. Why didn't she see it? No reason. She just didn't. See, that's why it's a fucking cop-out. Because Layla at least should have seen what happened, but for some reason she didn't. So they could have explained what happened, but they're choosing not to. Why? Because they just waved the Deus Ex Machina flag on that one. Let's see. Jokage 13, Jokage 13. Oh, wow. I've never known how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. How do gods work in Marvel? There are too many. I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, you've got the Norse gods who are really, and who are basically aliens from another planet. The Egyptian gods are actually a real thing. Apparently, the Greek gods are going to be a real thing. Maybe. Your guess is as good as mine on that one, man. And I'm sorry, I should have gotten to your super chat earlier. I didn't see it there. I don't know, the viewer activity tab is being wonky. It's not showing me these things when they pop up. But that is a legitimate question, though. I guess they work however the story needs them to work, I guess. Because, like, the Marvel Universe has gotten really big. I mean, you've got aliens and gods, and you're gonna have Atlanteans pretty soon, and other extra dimensional incursions, and people in armored suits, and mutants are gonna show up, and cosmic deities, and all this. It's just a universe where anything can happen, basically. I did not understand the logic of Mark and Steven not killing Harrow. Him and Ammit were killing people before they did anything, and it's not like Ammit was locked in an innocent. Well, I think he did it because he was choosing not to be Khonshu's puppet anymore. And also, I mean, maybe Mark just didn't want to kill somebody. I mean, not everybody has that in them. I mean, you saw in the in episode 5 when they did the cafe scene where you saw all the people he'd murdered on Khonshu's orders. Like, Mark wasn't happy about that. I mean, that was something that weighed very heavily on him. He had a guilty conscience over that. He didn't like killing people. Even though you could argue that Ammit and Arthur deserved it, maybe he just didn't want, any more red on his ledger, basically. Okay. It seems unfair that you get copyright claimed. Meanwhile, YouTube suggests spoilers for Doctor Strange 2, Sonic 2, and Spider-Man No Way Home these days they did before they release. Alright, well, I haven't gotten copyright claimed in a while. Well, I did get a copyright claim on the Batwoman is Cancelled video, but I used music for that one. I mean, it's Ode to Joy. You wouldn't think Ode to Joy would be copyright claimed. And I've actually used that song several times before in the Batwoman reviews, and it didn't get claimed then. It was weird. But no, I didn't get claimed on any of those other videos, so... MKF30, thank you for the super chat. What will be the next DC show that you do reviews for? I don't know. I've done a couple already. Didn't really stick. I did Stargirl for a little bit, but I stopped because it just wasn't really making for interesting review fodder anymore. And Superman and Lois, I mean, the views on that were kind of tapering off pretty quickly. So I decided to just focus on other stuff. Next DC show? Not really sure. It all depends on if something fits into my schedule or if I've got a hole I can fit something in. And a lot of people wanted me to talk about Naomi, but I mean, good God, I mean, that show seems so obviously DOA. I mean, it hardly seems relevant at this point. I mean, I think I might do a review for Young Justice Phantoms when that season finishes. And we'll see. I guess I believe isn't that Gotham Knights show being run by former writers from Batwoman? I guess I've got a number of bullets in the chamber ready for that one. I mean, that might be it. Pop Culture Guru, thank you very much. You need to do reviews of Stargirl again. It got better as the season went on. No, I was still watching it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed season 2. I do think they had a few too many balls in the air. And season 2, the season 2 finale was too complicated for them to handle. And with too many storylines and not enough time to resolve them all. I mean, overall, I enjoyed season 2. I think they needed to simplify things a bit, though. See, I will admit, America Chavez wasn't as annoying as I thought she would be, but her acting was wooden, and I don't think she's capable of carrying her own movie or show. Well, I don't think she's going to have to do that. I thought her acting was fine. I mean, I said in my review, it's not like she had to do a lot of like heavy dramatic work. I mean, she was like the perky sidekick, basically. You know, she didn't have to like break down and like sob or do any like a deep dark introspection or long monologues or something. I mean, they kept it within reason. I mean, they gave her some funny lines like what's a Spider-Man? You know, he climbs on walls, shoots webs. Does he shoot webs out of his butt? You know, it's just you know, little stuff like that. I mean, they didn't ask too much of her. So I was fine with her, really. I mean, they didn't have her do too much. Ezra Miller is the one. Oy. You know, about an hour before I started the stream, I was watching a video where John Campea was debating whether or not, it was like sort of discussing the rumor of whether or not Warner Brothers might be replacing Ezra Miller with Dylan O'Brien. I mean, it's not like they can just reshoot the whole movie, but they could add in a new scene at the end where we have a new version, where post-Flashpoint, we have a new version of the Flash played by Dylan O'Brien. I mean, at the very least, they'd be able to do that. I mean, why they would not want to cut the cord on Ezra Miller at this point, I could not tell you. It's possible they're still debating the best way to address the situation, because, wow, they are in a tough spot with that one. Isn't it funny how Captain Carter is literally not even a Marvel character in any way, shape, or form? It's literally a Disney character. She has no connections to the comic books whatsoever. Well, I think there are some Captain Carter comic books now. At least since she appeared in What If. I don't know. They gave her a couple issues. I don't know if she might have had her own series briefly, but yeah. I think she's mostly a Disney creation. And she's still a derivative, copy and pasted version of Steve Rogers, with no identity of her own. And her appearance in Doctor Strange 2 only confirmed that. Yeah, oh, you could do this all day, Captain Carter? Really? Are you sure you're not just saying that because that was Steve's line and you have no fucking identity that isn't copied and pasted from Steve Rogers? You're only saying it because he said it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Fuck off. Thoughts on Wanda and the Illuminati in Multiverse of Madness? All right, well, we had someone earlier in the chat room who wanted me to avoid spoilers on that. So I'll try to avoid spoilers. Two of the male members in there were surprising. You know, the ones that were not in the advertising. And I I thought they exposed their agenda when those two members were killed off, and Wanda had had a fight scene with two of the others that felt unnecessarily drawn out. Like, how could she not just walk all over these two like she did with the others? Well, the reason she couldn't is because they're women. Yeah, I mean, they ultimately met the same fate, which I did get a big kick out of. But yeah, not all the Illuminati members made out so well. I did like that they gave Professor Xavier a little respect, though. You know, he had a story. He got to use his powers. They incorporated him into the narrative. You're trying to help, you know, the Wanda from the other universe and stuff. So I like what they did with Xavier. It's like the other ones, like most of the other ones were just there for, I don't know, tokenish reasons, I guess. Although with one of the male members of the Illuminati, it's like the one in particular, it's like he shows up as like, well, okay, this character is going to be really important in other projects in the future, so obviously you're going to want to kind of protect him and make him look cool and stuff, right? Or make him look useful at least. But no, he's just he's there, and then Wanda takes him out. Like, really? Because you're going to want fans to pay to see him in a movie that you've announced for the future, but you just kind of took him out like a punk here. Seems like kind of a bad decision you made there, guys. Don't really agree with that. What? You know, every time it just does this every time. Like, it posts a whole bunch of comments all at once, and then I have no idea where I am in the chat room now. I have to scroll back up and see where I lost my place. How much interest do you have in the current MCU TV line after seeing the misses they made of current shows? Any in particular you want to see? I'm actually very interested to see Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk. Maybe not because I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see how big of a mess they both are. I don't know. She-Hulk is a question mark. That could go both. I mean, that's who knows on that one. I'm curious about She-Hulk because it's such a different commodity. Like, is it going to be a legal, like a lawyer show where she's trying cases as She-Hulk and then maybe fighting crime on the side or something? Is she going to be a superhero who is also a lawyer? How is that show going to work? I'm actually very curious about She-Hulk. With Ms. Marvel, I'm expecting a complete dumpster fire. So I expect I'm going to enjoy just giving that show the Batwoman treatment. So I'm interested to see those two shows, but not really because I expect them to be good. Caroline Dries flagged your Batwoman as canceled video. Well, that would be just like her, wouldn't it? Not sure how she'd know about it. I mean, she blocked me on Twitter a long time ago. If flagged it for what? I didn't use any media from the show. You could review AEW. I could review AEW, but honestly, AEW is kind of like my escape, where I don't have to think critically about anything. Because usually, if I put on my critic hat, I have to start like analyzing stuff, and that's when it stops becoming like just like, to a certain extent, I have to stop having fun with it and start thinking about, well, does this make sense? Or does this storyline work? Or does this character arc work? Or whatever. If I'm not thinking like a critic, it's easier to just sit back and enjoy something. That's what AEW is for me. Plus, I mean, AEW is just a good show. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, they have things they can improve on, but for the most part, it's just a good pro wrestling show. There isn't really much to criticize with AEW. Let's see. Ezra Miller. Amber Heard. MKF30, thank you for the second super chat. Have you seen The Boys and excited for Cobra Kai Season 5? Yeah, I have seen The Boys. I reviewed Season 2 on the channel. The Boys is awesome. Excited for Cobra Kai Season 5? Hell yeah. We're getting it a few months early this year, which is awesome. I couldn't believe they put a trailer out already. I wasn't expecting that for months. Because I figured they'd keep releasing around Christmas time or New Year's, because that's kind of been the pattern. But, they got Season 5 finished early. Or they got it filmed early anyway. I think they shot Season 4 and Season 5 in the same year. And Season 5 was already in the can before Season 4 even dropped. So, they're ahead of schedule. Good for them. My only problem with Carter is we keep getting female versions of characters we already know. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with Captain Carter. It's like when they made her a tokenized version of Steve, that basically became her whole identity. Like she lost her own identity and got Steve's identity copied and pasted onto hers. So at that point, she wasn't Peggy Carter anymore. She was Steve Rogers with tits. See, this is why I said in my What If reviews that Peggy, really, if you think about it, Peggy's like the only time Peggy really had an identity of her own was in the first Avengers. So maybe that's where her story should have ended. Because if the only avenue forward for her was becoming a tokenized version of Steve, well, maybe it would have been better if we just never seen her again after the first Avenger. It's like, and every time we saw Captain Carter, she just proved what a derivative knockoff copy of a character she really was. And it was no different in Multiverse of Madness. Okay. Ah. I dropped my pen. There's some of these things I can't talk about without giving spoilers. I'm trying to avoid that. I like She-Hulk. I think it could be an interesting perspective if it's based on old school Jennifer, but you know Marvel doesn't know how to handle real women. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I'm curious about, because something about like an interesting aspect about She-Hulk from the comics, she sleeps around a lot. And I'm not saying that to be like sexist or misogynistic or anything. I'm saying that because that's the character. She takes a lot of lovers. You know, like I think like in the new She-Hulk comic series, I mean, it's about her like thirsting for Jack of Hearts or something. Like that's just the character. I mean, she sleeps around, does She-Hulk, and I'm wondering how they're going to address that in the series, or if they even will. Because I mean, there's basis for it in the source material. So are they going to address it somehow? Are they going to ignore it? I heard one rumor that Daredevil was going to guest star in an episode, and she was going to try a case against Matt Murdock, and he was going to whoop her ass in court, and then they'd end up sleeping together. Which would be very on brand for She-Hulk. Or Jen Walters. But, I mean, are they going to be able to do that? Or would they even be able to do that with the politics of all these writers these days? I don't know. I'm very curious about it, though. I thought the Agent Carter series was canon, but... ... at first, it was an issue of, are the ABC shows considered canon anymore? The answer is, I don't know. I think at the very least you could say they happened in another universe, out in the multiverse somewhere. But they never really answered that question. Is Agent Carter canon? Is it not canon? I think since Steve went back in time to be with her, it's probably not canon anymore. If it ever was. I mean, because like the whole first season of the Agent Carter show was about her getting over losing Steve. And, well, they can't exactly do that anymore. I guess it would depend on at which point in time he went back to. But yeah, I mean, if it ever was canon, I think it's a pretty safe bet that it's not canon now. So that whole series has probably been retconned. Agent Carter got a second season. They just never gave it a third. Yeah. In case you want to go back and rewatch that, do yourself a favor. Skip Agent Carter season 2. Season 2 was ass. It was not good. Especially the finale. Whew, wow, boy, wow, the season 2 finale was a stinker. Good lord. Review the Firestarter remake. Yeah, that comes out this weekend, doesn't it? I figured I'd probably do that for a movie review this weekend if there's nothing else coming out. I kind of wanted to see Everything Everywhere All at Once, but it's not playing anywhere. Weird thing for Firestarter is I haven't seen any advertising for it. I mean, I only found out it was playing this weekend kind of by accident. I can't imagine it's going to do very well. But yeah, I might do that. I might review that one this weekend. I like Jennifer because while she does use her sexuality and owns it, she's quite fun to be around, like a big green rogue with slight anger issues. Yeah. I wouldn't say I don't know if I'd say Rogue was an overtly sexual character. I mean, she was definitely flirty, but she couldn't be with anybody. Well, couldn't past tense. She can now. Yeah, I guess there are some similarities there. Yeah. And considering Endgame brought back Mr. Jarvis, I think Agent Carter is actually canon. The implication is that Steve just won Peggy back from her new boyfriend. Or maybe he went back in time like the day after he disappeared, so she never got together with a new boyfriend. We don't know. I mean, he could have changed the timeline. We're not really sure. They didn't specify on that. Do you think Ms. Marvel has the potential to be really bad or just forgettable? Does Marvel usually dip their toes in the identity politics but don't punch the audience in the face with it every minute? Well, if they haven't done that before, I think Ms. Marvel represents the... I mean, if they were ever going to do it, Ms. Marvel is probably the project they're going to do it with. I mean, we saw that original teaser trailer. I mean, the whole thing was basically, look how not white our showrunner is. Look how not white our main character is. Look how not white our directors are. I mean, nobody cares who your directors are. The only reason to tell us who they are is so you can show off how ethnic they are. It's like, you can tell their heads are not in the right place for this. And apparently there were tons of reshoots, which is usually not a good sign. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they tried to correct some things. Who knows? I mean, I'll give it a fair shot, but I'm expecting that thing to be I'm expecting that show to be a complete mess. Question is not whether they're going to make She-Hulk promiscuous in the series, it's whether they're going to change her sexuality like they did with Iceman and Kitty Pryde and make her sex up women. Wait, did they change... Did they make Kitty Pryde gay? I don't know, I'm not really keeping up with the comics right now. What did they do with Kitty Pryde? And I always kind of thought there was something weird between her and Ileana, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. Did she do something with some other woman? I don't know. I haven't heard about this. I will never forgive what they did to Bobby Drake. This man was in love with women in his entirety for decades, had children in some timelines, yet all of a sudden he's gay. You know, they could have mitigated a lot of that if they just said, they just made him bisexual or something. I mean, sexuality is a spectrum. You don't have to be fully one or fully the other. He could have been somewhere in between, which still wouldn't have made sense, but it would have been more acceptable than just making him like flat out gay. Yeah, he's 100% heterosexual for canonically for like 6 decades, and then suddenly, a telepath tells him, "You're gay, Bobby." And then, all right, yeah, I'm gay now. Yeah. Yeah, that seems totally foolproof. Nothing screwy about that at all. You do a reaction to the Avatar 2 trailer. Well, I already saw the Avatar 2 trailer in the theaters. To be honest, there isn't a whole lot to see there. I mean, it's just, hey, look, it's Pandora, we're back, and the scenery looks really nice, and they're gonna go swimming in this one, yay! It's not really a story-heavy trailer. It's just, yeah, it's a this movie exists trailer. And so, even if I was seeing it for the first time, there wouldn't be a whole lot to react to. Yeesh, that's how they did it? That sounds like textbook brainwashing. Yeah, dude, I dare you to read the scene where they turn Bobby gay and tell me that it reads in any way other than brainwashing. Because that's what it always came off like. Like, Gene just takes Bobby aside. He says, "Bobby, you're gay." He's like, "What? No, I'm not." "No, you're gay, Bobby." And suddenly he just, and it's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm gay now. Because the telepath told me so." It always came off like brainwashing. Yeah, thank you very much, Brian Michael Bendis. But yeah, I mean, from day one, it felt like flat out telepathic brainwashing. And then since then, they've retconned it to where, yeah, he was always gay the whole time now, so whatever. Yeah. It was bullshit. It was terribly written, but that's what they went with. And now he's, 1990s stereotypical sitcom gay. Are you looking forward to What If Season 2? I'm looking forward to tearing What If Season 2 a new asshole. Am I looking forward to watching it? No. No, season 1 was bad enough. They used Gene to do it? That's even worse. Oh, yeah. Okay, if you're not familiar, they were doing a storyline where the X-Men, where the original teenage X-Men from the past were brought into the present because of some really stupid story that I think it was Bendis who did it. Yeah, Bendis who did it. And just bringing them from the past could have been, a decent like one-off story, but once they brought them to the present, they just decided to stay. Which is so fucking stupid, by the way, because you knew eventually they were going to have to go back to their own time period, and you weren't going to be able to do any really lasting changes with them, because then it would fuck up the entire continuity. So, no matter what was done with them, you knew you were going to have to reset these characters back to normal before you sent them back, so anything that you did with them was ultimately going to be fucking pointless. So they reset it, so eventually they stuck around for fucking years. And like eventually, they were doing all this other weird stuff with them, like Beast was learning magic, and I think Angel got like cosmic fire wings or something, and all that stuff had to go away when they sent them back to their own time. I think the only real change was, teenage Jean used her telepathy to make teenage Bobby realize that he was gay. And I think once they sent him back to their own time, they made him forget. And then, adult Bobby's memories got reset, and he remembered everything and whatever, but yeah, they used Jean to do it. She took a look under the hood and said, "You're gay, Bobby." And that's how it went. Brian Bendis, man, what the hell happened to that guy? See, me tearing DC and Marvel new ones is my favorite YouTube thing. Watch it on repeat, especially the new Warriors video. Oh, wow, the new Warriors trailer video. Wow, that one did really well, didn't it? Did that book ever actually come out? I think it got killed. I never heard anything about it after that. I think they might have killed that whole book. Thoughts on the Flash TV show possibly ending next year? Oh, wow. It only went about 8 seasons too long. Jesus Christ, they can't end that shit soon enough. I'm sorry. Your channel looks like one half of Dwayne Johnson's eyebrows. That's my eye, actually. A true story. That's actually the first thing I ever edited when I got Final Cut Pro. I got Adobe Audition. Yeah, I needed something to edit or just tinker with, and I didn't have anything, so I took a picture of my face and started screwing around with color correction and whatnot, and I ended up with that. And that actually became the basis of my original avatar, the eyeballs in space that you see at the beginning of all the videos. Yeah, that's kind of where that came from. That was the first thing I ever edited on Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere. Bendis is a blight in otherwise stellar X-Men history. Stan Lee deserved better. I don't know what happened to Bendis, man. I mean, his stuff used to be so good. There was a time when I would have bought anything that guy wrote, because, I mean, any like, all his books were just... I don't know. Everything he wrote was great for a while. Somewhere along the way, either he got overworked or he got really arrogant, or maybe a combination of the two, but man, his stuff just turned to crap. And he started getting more and more SJW and more woke and just introducing all these new garbage characters, and he started changing everything and just dropping a bomb on the status quo of every book he got on just so he could change everything around. And God knows I'm not reading his DC stuff, but apparently he ruined Superboy and ruined Superman and ruined Tim Drake and God knows what else. Are you excited for Chucky Season 2? No. No, Season 1 sucked. Season 1 of Chucky sucked. I seem to be in the minority on that. I know a lot of people seem to like it, which I don't get at all. The writing was terrible. It was full of plot holes. The acting was atrocious. They had like the one good thing they had going for them on that show was Fiona Dourif, because she was great. Pretty much everything was crap, but her performance was like the one redeeming quality about that show. So what do? We cut off her arms and legs. So now she's a quadruple amputee. Now she can't do anything. They should have been looking for ways to get her out of the wheelchair. Now she's stuck in there, and the dummies have completely backed themselves into a corner now, because now the best thing they had going for them on that show is just stuck. Ugh. Wow. Don't get me started on that show. Oh, man. The Marvel staff are hell-bent on ruining Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They seriously can never be happy, and it was so disheartening for people who care about them. Oh, man. They finally undid... They finally retconned sins past, and they finally got them back together, and they were finally in a good... Those two were finally in a good place. And I haven't read the most recent issues. Apparently they're broken up again. And I don't know, I read some spoilers somewhere about something really horrific being done to Mary Jane. I guess, I don't know if that's true or not. God, I hope it's not true. Holy gods. But, yeah, I mean, they're broken up again. Why? You broke them up for years. People were excited and finally happy that they were finally back together again. That's what fans want. It's so frustrating. Yeah, so if they're broken up again, then, well, okay, well, I guess I don't have to go back to reading Spider-Man comics. Don't read the new comics, your blood pressure will be through the roof. Thank you, I won't. It's true, she's about to get leather-faced. Oh, God. So it's true, then? Son of a bitch. So I guess they butchered Moria McTaggart, too, right? Like, they turned her into a horror movie villain, taking other people's skin or something. Oh, wow, so they didn't just... butcher Mary Jane, now they butchered Moira McTaggart. Moira McTaggart used to be a good character. Crying out loud. God, modern Marvel Comics just sucks so much. What's your opinion on James Gunn doing an Amanda Waller show? Seems really unnecessary. To me, Amanda Waller seems to work best as an antagonist. Or a foil for other characters. I'm not sure what the need is for her to have her own series. You know, it seems really unnecessary to me, but whatever. I guess this is spinning off of Peacemaker. I didn't watch Peacemaker anyway. Had no real desire to see it. I heard it was good, but I just wasn't interested. Her being a foil for Batman, for example. It works. Yeah. Okay, people recommending I watch Peacemaker. You know, a lot of people have encouraged me to watch Peacemaker. I don't know. I mean, if it's a good show, that's cool. I don't know. The DCEU is such a fucking mess at this point. It's like I don't know. I mean, I had a bad introduction to Peacemaker. He was cool in the Suicide Squad until he did that thing that I didn't like, which made me not want to follow him anymore. And to me, it just felt like a cheap way to exploit this character to see if we could get a spin-off series out of it. And okay, people enjoyed the series. Fine. Congratulations. I still don't want to see it. I still don't care to see it. It's like not every character needs their own series. Not every character needs their own movie or spin-off or whatever. I mean, at some point it just starts to feel very cheap and exploitative. Oh, what? Well, there's this El Muerto character that appeared in two comic books, not two series, but two comic book issues. He's in 2 comic book issues ever? Yeah, let's give him his own movie. Why the fuck not? Yes, I know that's Sony, not Warner Brothers. Shut up. And the whole thing is just so annoying, and I just don't. Maybe I'll check it out if enough people get on my case about it. But I just don't feel the need to check out Peacemaker right now. What else have we got in here? Now, thoughts on the El Muerto movie? Yeah, I just gave them to you. We're just going to exploit and rape and bastardize the Spider-Verse IP for all it's worth. We're going to make movies on fucking everything, no matter how cheap and stupid and lame the idea is. Yeah, El Muerto. Nobody knows who the fuck El Muerto is, but hey, let's get Bad Bunny to play him. It can't miss. Brilliant. Sure, Morbius was a flop, but El Muerto can't miss, right? Oh, Silk is getting a TV show? Oh, Jesus Christ. a TV show? Do you mean like a cartoon or? Oh my god. Sony making movies about villains is stupid. What's next? A Rhino movie? No, apparently what's next is a Craven movie. And after that, a Madam Web movie. And yes, those movies are happening. No. Give Shocker a movie? Well, Shocker's dead, isn't he? I mean, he was in Homecoming. Is he dead or just in prison? I don't remember. I think that's about it. Will we ever see you again on Livestream? Potentially. The reason I switched to the avatar is because they kept having lag issues. So, not sure. Not sure what's going on there. I don't know. Maybe I've got to clean out my hard drive and clear up some space, possibly, or maybe my computer's just old because it's not the newest computer in the world. Yeah. Because I didn't have problems with the live stream. Well, because I used to live stream a lot. I didn't have problems with the lag then, so not sure what happened there. Give Scorpion a movie. Well, the thing with Scorpion is, I mean, his origin is really tied into Spider-Man. So if you take Spider-Man out, you've changed the whole thing. Granted, that didn't stop them from doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Oy. MKF30 with another super chat. Thank you very much. Excited for 2 new live TMNT movies, an animated movie and live in the works. And have you heard about Spider-Verse 2 having pregnant Spider-Woman in it? The 2 new TMNT movies is news to me. I haven't. This is the first I'm hearing about that. Is it going to be in the same continuity? Are they going to do like the Michael Bay version of the Turtles, or is it going to be a new version? I hope it would be a new version. I kind of tried to force myself to like the first Michael Bay Turtles movie because I didn't want to have to dislike the Turtles because they're part of my childhood. Couldn't really make couldn't make a lot of excuses for the second one. Oh boy. Spider-Verse 2, yeah, it's apparent, yeah. Yeah, Spider-Verse 2, I guess, is going to have Jessica Drew in it, and our first introduction to Jessica Drew is going to be the pregnant version. Because that's everybody's favorite version of Jessica Drew. Oh, fuck Sony. Good goddamn. You know, funny thing about that, since we've been talking about Bendis here, one of my favorite things Bendis has done was the short-lived Spider-Woman solo series he did with Alex Maleev. They only did like one arc, and then they stopped because Maleev quit because he was doing all the art himself, I guess. But that was a great book. That was before Bendis turned to crap. That was back when Bendis was actually good. I liked that book a lot. I've got the trade. I still have it somewhere. But I really loved that book. I don't know what happened to Bendis after that, though. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Not highly recommend. If not highly recommended, it may be a multiverse movie, but it's a new IP that's not a comic book movie. I have heard about it. I've heard it's great, but it's not playing anywhere around here. Maybe it'll drop on streaming somewhere sometime soon and I can watch it, because I would like to see it. I've heard like nothing but great things about it. And, I'd like to support it because it's an independent movie, so anytime a movie like that makes a lot of noise, it gets me curious. So I would really like to see it. I gotta find a theater someplace that plays it. I do find it funny that the 2014 TMNT movie was going to pull a Mandarin with the Shredder, but the fan backlash when it got leaked made them backtrack and add all the OG Shredder in the reshoots. Yeah, I heard they were going to make the Turtles aliens and stuff. Yeah, and then all the reshoots happen and they put the line in here like, what, aliens? What? No, that's stupid. Who would do that? Or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, they got so defensive about it. They like, what? No, that's stupid. Who would possibly do something like that? Well, Michael Bay would. That's who. Anything else here? I think Moon Knight will bring back MCU will bring back Moon Knight and Wanda. Is some sort of Brotherhood of Evil, whatever, for Kang. Well, I mean, they left Moon Knight on all sorts of cliffhangers. They kind of have to bring him back. I can't imagine Wanda's dead. There's no way she's gonna die. There's no way she's gone. They're gonna keep bringing her back. Because Wanda's probably like one of the playing the Wanda card is got to be one of the top choices for how they introduce mutants. Because we still don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe Wanda just breaks reality again. Wouldn't cover all their bases, but that might be one way to do it. Liz Olsen has a 7-year deal with Disney Plus, with Disney Scarlet Witch will pop up more often than a cold sore. That's funny. What happened to Vision? Well, we haven't seen Vision since WandaVision ended. That's what. Apparently he didn't care to seek out Wanda. So, not sure what's going on with him. Maybe he took one look at her reading the Darkhold and got scared off. Will you cover She-Hulk on Livestream? Either Livestream or the usual review format. We'll see. I think the decision has been made that I'm going to do like Batwoman-style reviews for Ms. Marvel. With She-Hulk, you know what? Let's wait until we see a trailer. Then maybe I'll decide then. When does She-Hulk come out? I don't know. There's no date for it yet. We don't even really have a teaser trailer. We had a little bit of teaser footage, but no date for She-Hulk yet. Before you go, what are your feelings about the Blade show? It's a show now? Has that been announced? I knew they were doing a... I mean, I knew there was a Blade project in the works. I didn't know if it was going to be a show or a movie. Figured it was going to be a movie. I hope it would be a movie. Because a Blade show on Disney Plus, I don't see how that would work. No. I mean, all we really know is the casting. I mean, they've got a great actor for Blade. Beyond that, I mean, we don't really know anything yet. MKF30 with another super chat. Wow, thank you. Who would win? Who'd win? You think X-Men 3 Dark Phoenix versus Wanda? What? Oh, Jean from X-Men 3 versus Wanda. Well, Wanda. Wanda would win easily. Because the thing in X-Men 3 is it wasn't really the Dark Phoenix. It was just Jean with a split personality. And her power with powers that were going haywire. Because there was no cosmic entity in there. It was just Jean. So Wanda would beat her very, like, probably without too much trouble. Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 9 through 12. Guys, I have not seen the end of Clone Wars yet, guys. I'm sorry. I just haven't... I haven't had a chance to watch it. Star Trek Picard, oh my god. Guys, I never got past the first... I never got past Discovery Season 1, and you want me to watch Picard? I'm not really the Star Trek guy. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know. Those naked Klingon jugs in Discovery Season 1 really traumatized me, guys. I don't know if I can go back. That reminds me, I gotta watch Doomcock's review of the Strange New Worlds Episode 1. Heard he really didn't like that thing. Tom Hiddleston says he wants Loki to be full gay. Well, Loki's love interest right now is another version of himself. I mean, it's a female version, but it's still another Loki, so that's kind of gay. Maybe. I don't know. That's a gray area. Thought he wants Loki to be pansexual. Yeah, that's what I heard. The gay thing is news to me. Makes sense. In Norse mythology, he once had sex with a giant wolf. Another dude ain't that weird compared to that. Yeah, that would make more sense to me. Watch me at 1.25 speed so I sound like Ben Shapiro. Well, you do you, buddy. That's probably a good place to end things. All right, so thanks everybody for showing up. I guess that's it for Moon Knight, huh? So if you wanted to rewatch or re-listen to this, after the stream is done, it'll be set to private, and then I'll be putting it up on the live streaming channel sometime tomorrow. So link to the live streaming channel is in the description box. Not sure what we'll be streaming next. This has kind of become the tradition for when a new Marvel series drops, but I'll be doing the typical. I'll be doing normal reviews for Ms. Marvel. So I don't know. Maybe we'll find something else to talk about on streaming, because I would like to keep doing these. I just need an excuse to do it, because I'm not really good being off the cuff or just talking about stuff when I don't have a set topic or something to take notes on. But we'll see. We had a whole bunch of super chats tonight. Thank you so much. Daisy Blossom Flower Child with $5 super chat. Thank you. Joe Kaje 13. I'm sure I keep pronouncing your name wrong. I'm very sorry about that. Thank you. Yellow Lantern. Thank you. Pop Culture Guru. Thank you very much. MKF30. I'm sorry. I'm slightly dyslexic. I'm always afraid I'm getting that wrong. But thank you. You had a bunch of super chats in there. Thank you. Pop Culture Guru with another one. MKF30 with several more super chats. Thank you. Green Entertainment. Thank you very much. And I think there was one at the very beginning that the chat room is not showing me. Nuts. It won't show me. But whoever came in with that first super chat right when I started, thank you very much. It's not showing up in the viewer activity tab anymore, or in the chat room. I guess we passed that point. I'm very sorry, but whoever you are, you know who you are, and I thank you. So thank you to all our super chatters. Thank you to all the people in the comment section. You know where to find it. You know where to find the live stream after we're done here. It'll be in the live streaming channel. Check out all my other reviews. I guess I assume we'll be doing Firestarter this weekend. Maybe. I haven't made a final decision on that. Maybe there might be something else coming out this weekend. Who knows? If there isn't, I guess I'll be doing Firestarter. And not sure what else there is. I don't know. We got Thor: Love and Thunder coming up before too long. Damn, I might be hitting another bit of a dry spell. Yeah, no, I'll find something. I really should plan out what I'm going to be doing in advance more. Because I always have to struggle to think of, wait, what's coming out next? What is it this week? Next week? I should write these down. Anyway, so maybe Firestarter this weekend, maybe not. I don't know. I'll check it out. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks for talking about Moon Knight with me. I guess I'll be back to talk about something else in a stream before too long. And I got some more movie reviews, maybe some more TV reviews. God, maybe I should go back to Halo. Halo got super, interesting after that first episode. Who knows? All right, yeah, thank you. I'm rambling again. I have no outro. My outros suck. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking about Moon Knight with me. I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Peace out.